His Holiness Bhakti Anugrah Janardhan Swami Maharaj. And Prabhuji currently lives in Kyrgyzstan, and he conducts spiritual classes and educational programs, and translates Vaishnava literature. So, welcome, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Voice.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji, but your voice is not audible.
Hare Krishna. Good morning. Vancha
Yes, Prabhuji.
kalpatarubhya chakri pasinubhya eva cha patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Good morning. So we will read today a little bit from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 9th chapter, which is called Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy, verse number 40. Ya etena puman nityam stutva stotrena mam budget tasyashu samprasideyam sarvakama vareshvaraha. Any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desires, for I am the Lord of all benedictions. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The prayers offered by Brahma cannot be chanted by anyone who desires to fulfill his own sense gratification. Such prayers can be selected only by a person who wants to satisfy the Lord in his service. The Lord certainly fulfills all desires in regard to transcendental loving service, but he cannot fulfill the whims of non-devotees, even when such casual devotees offer him the best of prayers. The end of purport, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Om Agena Timirandasya, Gyananjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Unmilitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Svarupa Kadama Yam Dadati Svapadantikam, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sinubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I was asked to tell a little bit about how we should pray to Supreme Lord, and what kind of prayers can be offered, and what is this process of prayers is actually means. And for that we can read this 9th chapter of third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Brahma gives personal example how to pray to Supreme Lord for getting creative energy from him, because for each and every action which we are trying to perform, the energy is needed. And Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, he tells in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matach sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from him, from Krishna. He is the source of everything. Haribol. And sarva karana karanam, he is the cause of all causes. So if we want to get something, we should pray him. And Brahma is praying to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in order to get creative energy to create universe. And also he is asking Supreme Lord to make him free from pride, because when we're doing something, then this mentality which is called kartaham iti manite, I am the doer. I am a very great person who is doing something very great. And from this idea, the pride arises, which is an obstacle on the spiritual path. So because of that, Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord is able to hear these very exalted prayers from Lord Brahma, whose body consists from pure intelligence. Lord Brahma is very intelligent. He knows what to ask from Supreme Lord. So he is asking not only for creative energy, but he is also asking for this freedom from someone didn't mute the mic, for the freedom from what? From pride. From pride. This freedom from pride is very important. So here we have many verses in this 9th chapter of the 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course we have this so-called Phala Shruti, which means the result which one can get just by reading this chapter from Srimad Bhagavatam. This Phala Shruti is described here. Supreme Lord is saying here, any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desires. For I am the Lord of all benedictions. All our desires will be fulfilled. But of course, it is much more better to have spiritual desires than material desires. Let's see what is the purport written by Srila Prabhupada. This purport actually we already we have read. we have read in the very beginning of our class. So it is Phala Shruti. And also here Supreme Lord is giving instruction in the verse number 42. I'm the super soul of every individual. I'm the supreme director and the dearest. People are wrongly attached to the gross and subtle bodies, but they should be attached to me only. Supreme Lord is saying like this. So he is super soul. He knows our desires, and he knows what is better for us. He knows to what we should be attached. And here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada clearly saying that the living entity is called the Atma, and the Lord is called the Paramatma. And the conditioned souls who don't have self-realization accept the material body as the dearmost. The idea of the dearmost is then spread all over the body, both concentrated and extended. The attachment for one's own body and its extensions, like children and relatives, is actually developed on the basis of the real living entity. As soon as the real living entity is out of the body, even the body of the most dear son is no longer attractive. So this conception, this idea of the dearmost is also very important. And someone can say, why should we pray to Supreme Lord? Supreme Lord is Paramatma, as it is written here in this purport. He is Paramatma, he already knows everything. Why should we ask Supreme Lord for anything if he already knows about everything? And this process of praying is very important, because in such way we are telling to Supreme Lord, I have such and such desires in my heart, and such and such desires I want to be fulfilled, and such desires I want to be free from these desires. Because when we chant holy names of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we chant these holy names, we are not so much absorbed in the activities of our own mind. We are able to see our mind from outside. We are able to be like an observer to our own mind, to our own desires. And from such position, we can tell to Supreme Lord that such and such desires I want to be fulfilled. and such desires I don't want to be fulfilled. And basically it is called spiritual life. Because spiritual life, it is not always about the situation when you are pure devotee of Supreme Lord and when all your desires are connected to the interests of Supreme Lord. We have our own interests also, our own ideas of our own benefit. And what we can do with this, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in the form of Paramatma is able to see all our desires. And we can do what? We can tell to Supreme Lord that please fulfill such and such desire, and such desire you please don't fulfill, because I know from sacred scriptures and from instructions of my spiritual master that I will never get benefit from fulfillment of such and such desire. And it is the difference between devotee, even neophyte devotee, and materialistic people, because for materialistic people, their own desires is like their own personal religion. I want such and such things, and if I want something, then it should be done. It should be achieved by any price, by any means, it should be achieved. And in such way, what becomes the dearmost? The dearmost becomes the desires of conditioned living entity becomes dearmost for this conditioned living entity. And this process, when we are trying to pray to Supreme Lord, it is the process when we're trying to understand what Supreme Lord wants from us. And when we get this understanding, then we are benefited by whom? By Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So here we have the structure of one moment. Here we have the structure of this chapter. This book is called Bhagavata Subadhini. It is compiled by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu from Govardhan Eka village. Maybe some of you have been at that wonderful place. And here we have the structure of this chapter. And I highly recommend everyone to buy his books because the structures of each and every chapter in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita is described here in his books. And so we have this structure here. And as you can see, the structure is such that first of all, Supreme, not Supreme, he is not Supreme, Lord Brahma, he is requesting Supreme Lord here in these verses from verse number 20 to verse number 25, means he asks Supreme Lord for something, but it is not that he is asking immediately. Before that, we have to glorify Supreme Lord. Here he is glorifying. Before verse number 20, he glorifies Supreme Lord in different ways. He glorifies his power. He glorifies his qualities. And he expresses his, how to say, his compassion to those unfortunate people, verse number 7. Unfortunate people who are not able to hear about the glory of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. It is verse number 7. He is also compassionate. He is Adi Guru of our sampradaya, of our tradition, of our philosophical school. So in this verse number 7, he is saying, he is not supreme. Lord Brahma is saying, "Oh my Lord, persons who are bereft of the all auspicious performance of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate and are also bereft of good sense. They engage in auspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while, very short period of time. We have this bhajan, which is called Bhajahure Mana, which is written by Govinda Das. And Govinda Dasa Abhilashare, Abhilash, desire. What is the desire of the author of this bhajan, Govinda Das? He is saying, Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana, my desires are to hear about Supreme Lord and to remember Supreme Lord and to glorify Supreme Lord. It is my desires. And Kamala Dala Jala, Jivana Tala Mala, this life is very short. It is like a drop of water on the lotus flower. Means this drop of water can fall down in the this river or sea. It can easily and it can almost immediately fall down in this water from the lotus flower. Why? Because lotus flower usually is described like special flower which cannot be covered by water, because once a drop of water is on the lotus flower, then it will not take a long time for this drop of water to fall down to this water reservoir. It can be river, it can be it can be sea, whatever. So and the same way, this life is very short. The same way, like the spirit of time, when this drop of water is on the lotus flower, this period of time is very short. The same way, life of conditioned living entity in material world, any conditioned living entity, any form of life, some living entities in some forms of life, they live for a very long time, for quite very long time. And some forms of life have very short life, like for example, different flies or mosquitoes or whatever. But anyway, in comparison with duration of existence of universe, which is created by Lord Brahma, each and everyone's life is very short, and even lifespan of Lord Brahma is very short in comparison with eternity. In comparison with eternity, it is very short. So, and here Lord Brahma is saying that they are enjoying sense gratification for a very little while. There was King Yayati. This King Yayati and his activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. King Yayati wanted to enjoy his senses, and when he became old, he invited all his sons to discuss the situation, and he told to his sons, who can give his youth to this king, in order to give this king opportunity to enjoy more. And it means this exchange means that this king will become young again, and the son which will give his youth to this king Yayati, he will become an old man immediately. Such kind of exchange, of course, in our modern times we cannot do it, but at those times, by some kind of mystical powers or whatever, it was possible. So basically, no one wanted to give his youth to King Yayati, because everyone wants to enjoy. But only the youngest son decided that, okay, let me follow instructions of my father. Let me follow the instructions of my father, and let me give my youth to my father, to King Yayati. So he did it, and this King Yayati was enjoying senses, enjoying sex life, and many other things that are available for kings. He was enjoying, but anyway, by the end of his life, he told Anyway, it is not enough for me. Anyway, I'm not satisfied. So it is the nature of material enjoyment. No one can be satisfied completely by sense enjoyment, but we can get this eternal spiritual happiness by chanting holy names of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And what is the chance for these unfortunate persons who are seeking for sense enjoyment only? What is their chance? Their chance is to meet pure devotees of the Lord, who, however, take compassion, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, take compassion upon such unfortunate persons and in a missionary spirit try to persuade, or I don't know how to pronounce this word. Anyway, they are trying to preach them in the line of devotional service. Only by the grace of pure devotees can such unfortunate men be elevated to the position of transcendental service. We have two kinds of pure devotees. Some pure devotees are already pure, like His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He came from spiritual world directly. He is all pure. And there are those who are followers of such pure devotees. And they are also pure devotees, not in the sense that they are pure, but in the sense that they are following this path of purity. Anyway, in such way, we can also call them pure devotees. So this missionary spirit can be implemented, and this missionary spirit can be how to say, manifested, better to say like this, right? Can be manifested basically by each and every member of ISKCON society, missionary spirit, because Srila Prabhupada gave his books, and the missionary spirit is already there on the pages of these books. And even if we consider ourselves to be unqualified, anyway, we can say that I don't have any qualities and so on, but you please read these books and and give some money to us to print more books also. Please donate. And we don't have to give long classes, long lectures to these people on the street to whom we are trying to distribute books. Our role is just to be in between those people and Srila Prabhupada himself. And Srila Prabhupada has this missionary spirit. And also our leaders, our spiritual leaders and our administrative leaders also, they have this missionary spirit. Missionary spirit is very important for ISKCON, for existence of ISKCON, and for development of ISKCON, because basically each and every religious activity can be decreased, can be like we have evolution and we have devolution, right? Devolution. It can be devoluted, devoluted to some kind of ritualistic activities, any religious activity. I mean, that we can, for example, we're doing something for many, many years. We're reading books and chanting holy names and taking prasadam and offering bhoga and dealing with each other day after day after day. And this mind has a habit to transform any activity which we are doing to some kind of mechanical activity. And such moment can come when the practitioner is doing almost everything mechanically, chanting mechanically, reading mechanically, even taking prasadam mechanically. But this missionary spirit, when we are concerned not only about our own spiritual benefit, But when we are thinking how to give this spiritual message to others, this missionary spirit prevents us from becoming mechanical, from becoming biological robots, because when we are facing people, when we are going on the streets or in the offices or whatever, we can see that these people are not mechanical. At least they are not mechanical in our regarding our spiritual activities, our religious activities. They are not mechanical, means they are not predictable. You tell them that please take this book, and no one can predict what will be the answer. No one can predict what will be the answer of a person on the street or in the office, or when we're doing some namahata, bhakti vriksha, or whatever, because people are not mechanical, and everyone has his own karma, his own qualities, and no one can predict what will be the answer on our request to accept this Krishna consciousness. So these missionary activities, they are forcing us to use our intelligence in spiritual life. If we are not the part of this missionary activities, then all other activities can be done mechanically. After some time, person thinks, I know everything. I have huge experience. I'm chanting holy names of Supreme Lord for a long time, and I take prasadam for a long time. And but where is the satisfaction in his heart? That is the question. This satisfaction one can have if he is trying to satisfy Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is saying that no one is more dear to me than one who is preaching my glories, one who is spreading my glories. So he is the dearmost for Krishna. And we're trying to pray to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in order to develop such mood, such mentality that Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is dearmost for us. And for that, we're using different prayers from sacred scriptures, like prayers of Queen Kunti, prayers of Lord Brahma, prayers of Prahlada Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and so on, because we have this exalted consciousness in these prayers already, and just by repeating these prayers after them, we can elevate our own consciousness. Gradually, we can elevate, gradually, we can elevate our consciousness to the level of their consciousness just by repeating the prayers of exalted souls. Like, for example, we're repeating after the author of this Tulasi Kirtan, we're repeating these prayers like Seva Adhikara Diya Koro Nija Dasya. I want to be the servant of Radha and Krishna, most humble servant of Radha and Krishna in Vraj, in Vrindavan. And honestly speaking, it is not that by this moment we have this desire to be this servant of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Or, for example, Idam te vapur natha gopala balam sadame manasya virastam kim anyay, who will be chanting these prayers, these Damodarashtaka prayers on Kartik month, where Satyavrata Muni is saying that only my desire is that the Supreme Lord Bal Gopal should be manifested and should be situated in my heart. No other desires I have. And honestly speaking, we have many other desires. Not only we want Bal Gopal to be in our heart, but also some of us want to be, want to have some material facilities in their flats also, and some other things, and maybe some more money on their bank accounts. I mean, this desire related to Bal Gopal, it is not only our desire, we have many other desires also. But by repeating these prayers, which are composed by exalted souls, we can elevate our consciousness to the level of these exalted souls. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And if you have some questions, please ask these questions. Mriganka Das. Mriganka Das. Okay, please. Haribol, please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisance. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, yes. Please.
Yes, Prabhu, can I continue, Prabhu?
Yes, please ask.
Yes, Prabhu.
Please ask your question.
So thank you very much, Prabhu. So my question is that you are telling about the desires, that we have two kind of desires, spiritual also and material also, and we should pray. And we are praying also that only our spiritual desires should fulfill. But one fear is there. We have just because we have the material desires, so we have that fear, because Krishna sees only the desire. So we don't have that nadhanam najanam, that desire. Purely we don't have the desire. We have material desires also. So there is fear that Krishna may see our that material desire and may fulfill, and then we may get entangled in that material activities. Then we may lose our spiritual essence or this practice. So means how to get free from that means fear that because of our previous sanskaras, the previous desires, we may fall down and we may get entangled. So yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Basically, my classification of these desires was not like material desires and spiritual desires. I was saying that two kinds of desires means the first one, desires that are beneficial for our spiritual life, and the second one, which are not beneficial, for example, sinful desires. And what we can do with these sinful desires? Better to pray to Supreme Lord that please make me free from these desires, otherwise it can do some harm for my spiritual life. And regarding different material desires, some of them should be fulfilled. I mean, should be spiritualized. For example, we have some kind of guna karma, some kind of our qualities, our abilities, our talents also. And from one side, it is material, but from another side, if we will be able to engage our qualities, our abilities in devotional service, then it becomes spiritualized. For one can sing for Krishna, and one can sing mundane songs. It is a big difference. Or one can give classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, or one can give classes on sexology. On sexology in medical institute, for example, somewhere. And the result will be different result. Or some classes for people for children in school about contraception and all these things, about contraception and about sexual activities, like in schools, at least in Europe, in US, they give some kind of knowledge to basically to children about this. And the result will be different if you give this knowledge or if you give knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The result is different, but the ability is the same, speaking skills. And one can get this speaking skills by his guna karma, and one can develop this speaking skills also by going through some kind of education, training, and so on and so on. So how you can, what should you do? What should we do? We can just pray to Supreme Lord. That of course, because I'm in this material body, I need some material facilities also. So you please fulfill my desires and my needs, material needs, in such way that I would not be entangled in material world. You please fulfill it in such way. But of course, we cannot deny our material needs. Some material needs should be fulfilled anyway. We have this slogan given by Srila Prabhupada, which sounds simple living, higher thinking. It means that material needs should be fulfilled, but it should not be, how to say, it should not be fulfilled too much. It should be fulfilled to some extent, which makes one peaceful and satisfied, and then one can peacefully chant Hare Krishna and do other things in his life. And of course, if someone is practicing atyahara, prayasascha, prajalpo niyamagraha, and so on, atyahara, if someone is trying to take too much from this life, from in material sense, to take too much, better to take too much in spiritual sense. In spiritual sense, there is no such category as too much. In spiritual sense, there is no such category as too much, and but in material life there can be, in the sense that if you get too much, you can become entangled. So Krishna is the most intelligent. He knows what is better for us. So better you ask him that you please cover my needs, spiritual needs and material needs as well, but in such way that I wouldn't be entangled by this material existence. The same way, like Lord Brahma was praying to Supreme Lord that give me this creative energy, but give me this creative energy in such way that I would not become entangled by pride. So the same way we can ask, you give me this because I needed this. Anyway, I cannot deny it because I'm in material body, but you give me this in such way that I would not be entangled by material existence, by samsara and all these things. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for your nice question. The next question is from user named RS. RS. We don't know what does it mean, but anyway.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much, Prabhuji, for this insightful session. My question over here is, Prabhuji, for example, we have a diverse youth in front of us, and in case we want to get them into this movement or to make them understand about the entire philosophy, what is the easiest way for make them attract and bring the curiosity, especially with this movement, and also make them understand and grasp what exactly is all this philosophy about? So what are the 4 or 5 or 6 different topics which can be taken and it can be easily accepted by them so that we can get them closer to this movement, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
By students or by children from school or by whom?
For the students, Prabhuji.
Students. Well, basically, as I know, you already have different programs and different modules for what? For preaching in colleges and in universities, different conceptions from physics, chemistry, and so on are related to Krishna consciousness, and it is already done by Chaitanya Charan Das, by Radheshyam Das. There are different programs. At the same way, we have this GBC resolution where it is written that when you are trying to invite new people in ISKCON, better you make them familiar with Srila Prabhupada's heritage. With Srila Prabhupada means books, Srila Prabhupada's books, then Srila Prabhupada's classes, and so on and so on. Because if by inviting in ISKCON, we want to make them familiar with ISKCON and with purpose of ISKCON and with values of ISKCON, it is really important for them to listen and to watch some Srila Prabhupada's movies, or even these Abhay Charan movies, these movies about life of Srila Prabhupada. Just and in such way we can see, will they be attracted by Srila Prabhupada's personality or not? And life is life. Someone is attracted by Srila Prabhupada's personality, someone is attracted by Jesus Christ's personality, someone is attracted by Buddha, and so on. So it will be also the test. Because if someone is attracted by Srila Prabhupada, then it is good foundation for him to practice spiritual life in this Vaishnavism tradition given by Srila Prabhupada for worldwide auditorium, audience, worldwide audience. Anyway, we have these programs written by Chaupati devotees, written by Radhashyam Prabhu. Just Google this, just visit Radhashyam Prabhu's website, and there are different questions regarding. Of course, well, you are asking about 4 or 5 different topics. Well, Darwin theory, Big Bang theory, right? Then what else we have? We have this, we have this medical sciences and body and soul, and no one can see soul, and no one can. Also, we have the scientific conception given by Srila Prabhupada in this book, Life Comes From Life, where Srila Prabhupada, he explains that if you people think that life is just materialistic phenomena, it is just chemistry, then just mix different chemical elements in such way that it will create life. For example, this argument is given in Life Comes From Life book. So we have this books where Srila Prabhupada gives different scientific discourses. We have this Life Comes From Life book. We have In Quest of Enlightenment book, where Srila Prabhupada analyzes different philosophies. I mean, there are some parts for such sciences like biology, chemistry, physics. It is one category of sciences, and there are other sciences like philosophy or politology or sociology, and basically one can find different talks, Srila Prabhupada's talks with different scientists, and one can find it. One can find it in Bhaktivedanta database, in Bhaktivedanta archives. We have these players, MP3 players, where Srila Prabhupada classes are recorded, and you can find different recordings, and you can give these programs created by Radhashyam Prabhu or Chaitanya. What is his name? Chaitanya Charan or Chaitanya Chandra? What is his name?
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji.
Chaitanya what?
Chaitanya Charan.
Charan.
Chaitanya Charan. Chaitanya
His
Charan.
Grace Chaitanya Charan.
His Grace, who is Indian devotee, I mean in Indian body, but of course the soul is international. Like our society is international, soul is also international. Okay, so so you can use their programs, their manuals, and you can find in the Bhaktivedanta archives, you can find particular recordings where Srila Prabhupada is speaking with different scientists, and you can share these recordings with students, or you can give these books, Life Comes From Life, or In Quest of Enlightenment, or even even Science of Self-Realization. We have different chapters in this book, Science of Self-Realization, where Srila Prabhupada is speaking with different scientists. So you can use it. Why not? Mhm.
Thank you once again, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Deepmala Kumari. Deepmala Kumari. You can speak. Please speak. Please ask your question or share your thoughts. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. First
Hare
of all,
Krishna.
nice session, Prabhuji. I'm gonna ask a question that while doing spiritual practice, we not remember Lord Krishna in Hare Krishna.
Why am I doing this spiritual practice?
While doing sadhana bhakti, we are not able to remember Lord Krishna.
Who is not able to remember Lord Krishna? I didn't understand.
Materialistic.
Materialistic people are not able to remember.
We are while studying or doing household work. So how to remember?
You're asking how to remember Krishna when one does his housework?
Yes.
Very simple. You can use your mobile, you can use headphones, and when you are washing the floor, you can listen to some classes. Why not? Very simple. Very simple. And why I'm doing these spiritual practices? Because this society is international society, and Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, he is not an Indian citizen. He is also international. He is for everyone. At least Srila Prabhupada is explaining like this. Okay, someone wrote in the chat that he has a question, right? What? Archana Thakur. Yeah, please. Archana Thakur.
Archana
Hello.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna, nice to see you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, my question is that you are telling earlier we are doing all things mechanically in chanting, reading, the all thing, Prabhuji. What is the Prabhuji meaning of the mechanical? And we want to improve our sadhana bhakti. So how could it be possible for that? We are in Krishna consciousness. Improve our chanting, reading, that not be mechanical for us.
Very nice question. Well, basically, the specifics of this situation is such that when one is doing something mechanically, usually he is not able to see that he is doing this mechanically. So first of all, we have to see that something is done mechanically. And for that, sadhu sangha is very important. Sadhu sangha is very important. Or, for example, you get a darshan of spiritual master, and you can see that spiritual master is not mechanical at all. And just by seeing him and just by observing ourselves in his presence, we can see what is done mechanical by us. And sadhu sangha also helps us to be more conscious about our spiritual life, because sangha means close relations, and the power of close relations, the power of sangha is such that when we have sangha with someone, we get his or her desires, the desires of those with whom we have this sangha. So when we are associating with devotees, and when we are not just doing prajalpa with devotees, like it also takes place, but when we're discussing some spiritual subject matters, and when we're discussing how to improve our spiritual life, then these devotees can share their desires with us, means they have the desire, I want to chant attentively, I want to satisfy Supreme Lord, I want to satisfy spiritual master. And after associating with devotees, you can easily feel that your desire to satisfy spiritual master increases just because you had this desire. And the same way, when someone has association, close association with materialistic people, then after some time he can see some other unwanted desires in his heart, because these desires are reflected. So this law of reflection works everywhere. If we want spiritual desires to be reflected in our hearts, better to take spiritual association. And the spiritual association, when these desires, spiritual desires are increased in our heart, then we become less mechanical, because morning time starts, and I take my japamala, and because these desires that I have got from sadhu sangha are here, then my approach to japa will be another approach. I will be remembering that such and such Prabhuji or such and such Mataji already shared with me yesterday, he or she shared some enthusiasm with me. And I was inspired to see this enthusiasm. Why not to try to chant holy names with the same enthusiasm, with the same idea that holy names are Krishna himself? So we get this sadhu sangha, and this enthusiasm, it lasts for some period of time, for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever. And in order to be always inspired, better to be always in touch with those who are inspired. And exactly for this, we have this sadhana program, we have this prescription to read Srila Prabhupada's books regularly, because in such way we can get his inspiration, we can get his enthusiasm. And of course, this living association, when we're not associating just online, but when we're associating on site, and when we are able to feel, really to feel the presence of each other, it really helps. But online association also helps. And then for some period of time, this enthusiasm, we get this enthusiasm or on another level, not just on our typical level where we are usually situated, this level of enthusiasm, but after some kind of good, really good sadhu sangha, this level increases. And when it increased, you can do your activities being more inspired and more conscious and less mechanical. Hare Krishna. Okay, do we have some more questions or thoughts, or even time to take some more questions? What is our plan?
Prabhuji, actually, time is over. Actually, 24 minutes we are given extra.
Okay, okay. Over is over.
So,
Okay.
okay. So I don't think any person has. Okay. No more raised hands and no questions as well. So
Okay,
I think
thank you, devotees, for your presence here, and for your kind attention, and for your inspiration and your wonderful qualities and kindness in the hearts.
so. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your association and giving your time. So we will thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and so kindly.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Bahut dhanyavad. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
ओके, सो आज का सेशन है हम यहीं पे समाप्त करते हैं। एंड आई होप आप सभी लोगों को बहुत ही अच्छा लगा होगा। प्रभु जी काफ़ी सीनियर हैं एंड प्रभु जी टीच कर रहे हैं जर्मनी, रशिया, इन सब कंट्रीज में भी। सो आई होप हम सभी लोगों को फ़ायदा हो प्रभु जी के एसोसिएशन से। ठीक है, सो आज का सेशन हम लोग यहीं एंड करते हैं। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सेशन में आने के लिए। सो इस संडे एक स्पेशल सेशन भी रहेगा इस बीरजिता मित्र प्रभु जी का। सो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी आप सभी लोगों से कि प्लीज़ संडे वाला सेशन ज़रूर से अटेंड करिए। एंड कल अजन्म कृष्ण प्रभु जी की क्लास भी है, नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन की। सो ये 2 डेज आप प्लीज़ ज़रूर से अटेंड करिए। हरे कृष्ण, धन्यवाद।